I do not like Bola Tinubu because I know for a fact that he's a known drug lord. There was a subpoena to Deloitte, and Deloitte had said Tinubu did not work for them. I do not like the fact that he's a known drug lord.
You've called Asiwaju a drug lord, and so many unprintable names you've spoken about with regards to candidates.
Well, that's not true. I mean, if you can tell me the unprintable names that I've said, please say it here. That is false, Ayo. I've not used any unprintable names.
Is drug lord a pleasant name? Is that something you can...
No. Please, can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Drug lord is not an unprintable name. If you are a drug lord, first and foremost, if you are a thief, it is not libel to say you are a thief. How am I going to tell you that if you are a thief, I'll come and meet you and say, oh, you are a nice person who diplomatically likes to take things that do not belong to you? No, you are a thief. Bola Tinubu is a non-drug lord. It's not an unprintable word. I've got facts to back it up. I've got documents to back it up. I spent my money. I went to Chicago. I went to the court. I got the certified true copies. Bola Tinubu is a drug lord. That is not an unprintable name. If you have a background with drugs, that's an issue. Look at what happened in Colombia. They had a president who had a non-drug lord background. It affected their country, effectively bankrupted that country because foreign direct investment into that country almost ceased. Major banks did not want to do business with that country. These are important matters.
The question I want to ask you as a Nigerian voter, do you want a known drug lord as your president? Because it's going to have effects on you. It's going to have ramifications on you, on your passport, on your currency, on the way people view you abroad. This is a national existential crisis. If we have a known drug lord, go and research what happened in Colombia. Go and research what happened in Panama. It affected their economy. It affected even school children because the amount of foreign aid coming to the country was affected because of the person that they had at the top.
I listened to Governor Peter Obi and, ex-Governor Peter Obi, the plans, the ideas, this man raised the bar of leadership in Nigeria. He raised the bar of leadership in Nigeria. Since he left office, can you believe that this man does not take anything, not even like a penny from the Anambra State government? And while he was there, he was a man that built up Anambra State. Anambra State used to be almost educationally disadvantaged. And then in less than 2 years, he brought them to be number one. He left that state with a reserve. Look, we need people like this. I'm so proud of Governor Obi. I listened to him today and, I was taught, do we have fellows like this in Nigeria? I'm very proud of this man. Look at everything that he has touched. He made money for himself in the private sector. He made money for Anambra State in government. Anambra State doesn't borrow money. Are you aware of that? These bailout funds that the current administration is giving states, Anambra State, he left enough for Anambra State. I'm very proud of this man. Governor Obi, please just say something to my followers, to my fans.
Well, thank you, all of you. All I'm saying is that we have no other country except Nigeria. We must work hard to build it. We must build it. It's our country. We cannot bequeath our children and those coming after us anarchy.
The only solution to all the problems in Nigeria is to sack Tinubu and his boys in 2027. It is good for us to mount pressure and to speak truth to power. But that is just 1% of what we need to do. Tinubu and his boys and girls, they do not have conscience. Do you think that Tinubu will have a change of mind? He will all of a sudden become born again so that Nigeria can be better? He has said so himself, that no matter how much we protest, he will do what he wants to do. And the reason for that is simple. He's selling Nigeria to himself with the support and backings of foreign and international support, while making Nigerians poorer and suffering, while destroying the purchasing power of Nigerians. That's what he's doing. He's using public-private partnership to siphon public funds into private pockets. He's a rent seeker. He's not a wealth creator. And so long as he has the backings of international forces, will he care that we are talking? Every opportunity that he gets, he makes jokes and he jests about us. And I encourage people to speak up. And I encourage people to speak truth to power. But here is the reality that we must all face as Nigerians. Tinubu does not care about our talk. If what we are pursuing is solution, then we must put structures in place to ensure that Tinubu and co are sacked in 2027. How can we ensure that Tinubu is sacked in 2027? They are already pushing the propaganda that Tinubu is a master strategist. They are already forcing governors to decamp from their parties into the APC to make it look like Tinubu is loved by all. To break the spirit of Nigerians, to give up and say opposition is useless or hopeless. That's what they are trying to do. They are already putting structures in place to prevent registration of new political parties. They are putting machineries in place to make sure that even opposition parties are destabilized. And we think that just talking will solve it. Talking and speaking truth to power is good. But we need much more than that. We need much more than that. Some of you might be saying, oh, revolution here, revolution this, revolution that. The resources to engage in that revolution, do we have it? Do we have the resources to engage in that violent revolution? The cost of that violent revolution in terms of loss of lives and destruction of properties, are we ready to bear it? Can we pay it? Is there a better alternative than a violent revolution? Is it possible for us to use our brains, to use our heads, to think out of the box and come up with solutions that can sack Tinubu in 2027? The answer is yes. The only power that Tinubu has is to rig the elections. And that is not a strength, like many of you are trying to paint it. That is not a strength. There is no developed country in the world where their presidents or political leaders have rigging in their arsenal as the tool with which they win elections. In fact, which developed countries in the world have you seen? Maybe I have not seen them. Which developed country in the world have you seen that their leaders are strong election riggers? Which one? No country can develop when their leaders are election riggers. So to say, oh, Tinubu is a master strategist, when his strength apparently lies in election rigging, it's not a compliment. It's an admission of criminality. It is an admission of shame. So if Tinubu is really a master strategist, he should expose himself to free and fair elections. Let us test that his master strategy. We need to do much more than talk. Is it possible to sack Tinubu in 2027? The answer is yes. But can we do it without free and fair elections? The answer is no. The only way Tinubu continues in office beyond 2027, the only way, whether there is a coalition or whether there is no coalition, the only way is for the 2027 elections to be rigged. And the signs are there. So, if we are to sack Tinubu in 2027, it means that our only path to achieving that objective is to make sure the election of 2027 is free and fair. Right now, what would you say is our path to a free and fair elections in Nigeria today? Electoral reforms, That's the only thing that we can point to. Even that electoral reforms. How many religious leaders, entertainment leaders, you call them celebrities, how many traditional rulers, how many business leaders, the likes of Dangote, them Otedola, how many of them are throwing their weight behind electoral reforms? How many of them are talking about it? The other day we saw a video of Randy Peters visiting Pastor Adeboye. At the end of that video, which I took my time to watch, Pastor Adeboye did not even say, we are calling on Tinubu to give us electoral reform. Instead, he was advising the youths, the Randy Peters of this world, to be peaceful. Even the electoral reforms, that is our half chance to getting free and fair elections. The people that matter, quote and unquote, because at the end of the day, even all Nigerian lives matter. But let's say the big names across different sectors, political leaders, traditional leaders, religious leaders, entertainment leaders, business leaders, media leaders, educational leaders. How many of them are talking about it? Now let's even forget the fact that they are not talking about it. The key players. The people have the power to push electoral reforms and get it passed if they mount enough pressure. We, the people of Nigeria, the citizens of Nigeria, if we come out in our millions, imagine 30 million Nigerians putting our weight behind the electoral reforms, the National Assembly will have no choice but to pass it. And the president will have no choice but to assent to it, so that we can have mandatory real-time election result transmission, collation, and display electronically. Mandatory, such that the manual collation will just be for backup, for administrative purposes. We can have that. We can have that electoral reforms. But here is the kicker. If by some miracle we are able to get a Tinubu to convince his boys, and Akpabio and co, to pass that electoral amendment bill, what is the guarantee that INEC will not come up with a glitch? That is where Plan B has to kick in. It has to be activated. So the only path is free and fair elections. The only path. And the only way to get free and fair elections is electoral reforms, right? Not really. Electoral reform is just Plan A. After we get electoral reforms, as hard as that may seem, we must also activate a backup plan that includes several components. We must activate political party reforms. We must activate citizens' real-time election monitoring, which will include real-time election results transmission, collation, and display, parallel to whatever INEC has been forced to do in the Electoral Act. We must activate evidence gathering mechanisms. We must activate systems to de-weaponize poverty. We must activate systems to de-weaponize impunity, like the stuff that is happening against Natasha now. And we must activate systems to open up the political playing field to all Nigerians. Remove all the gates, the money barrier that have been put there, the elite barrier that have been put there. Remove all of them. All of these solutions are things that you can find details to in the description. If our objective is a new Nigeria that works, talking is only 1% of what we need to do. We need structures in place now. not tomorrow, not 6 months, structures in place today, right now. For citizens to have their own election monitoring system, real time, a system that is even faster than that of INEC, we need 600,000 polling unit marshals. That's 3 polling unit marshals per polling unit. These will be responsible for entering the results in triplicates into the election monitoring application, Vote Vision. In triplicates. And the beautiful thing is that no polling unit marshal will know who the next polling unit marshal is for that polling unit. So each polling unit marshal will be a check and a balance to the other 2 polling unit marshal in a particular polling unit. Can we do 600,000 polling unit marshal volunteers? I think we can. It is a starting point to guarantee that the election of 2027 cannot be rigged. And guess what? If we can ensure that the election cannot be rigged, if we can ensure that the elections will be free and fair, guess who wins? The people and the people's candidates. The only chance that a Peter Obi has to not be rigged out in 2027, I am confident that he will win in a free and fair election. The only chance he has to sit on that seat in Aso Rock on May 29, 2027, is to ensure that the elections are free and fair. That is the only chance. Anything short of that, we are wasting time and we are falling into Tinubu's trap of distractions in the whole loss for war. So check the link in the description and volunteer now. We have the applications ready. We are igniting it July 1 by the special grace of God. This Nigeria, we will not sit idly by and allow the likes of Tinubu and company to destroy our children's future just for the sake of their pockets and the interests of those that are their backers. We will not. We will give it a try. No matter how impossible it will seem, we will give it a try. What are you going to do?